Hello YouTube, Sam from youtube.com/onlivegamer here for the new Boston, and in this tutorial we're going to be talking about variables. Now, variables are one of the most important parts of programming. There's no possible way to make a program without variables. So let's go ahead and get started, and we'll create a variable here. Now, to create a variable in Visual Basic, you're going to start off with the keyword dim. Now, what this tells the compiler is that you're going to declare a variable. So if you read this right here from IntelliSense, it says that the dim statement declares and allocates, new storage space for one or more variables. So what we're going to do is we're going to type dim, and then after this you can type whatever name you want as long as it contains valid characters. Now there's a list you can find a list of valid characters online, or invalid characters. So we're just going to start off by calling it mynum. Now you can name this whatever you feel like. And now after we tell the compiler what the name of our variable is going to be, we're going to type as. So this just specifies the data type in the declaration statement. So we're just going to tell the compiler what kind of data type it's going to be. And so we're going to make ours an integer. And so you can see that a little green line comes under that, and it is a warning here, and it says unused local variable, not mynum. So when you're making programs, if you never use a variable, the error list is going to tell you in the warning so that you can take that out and make your program more efficient. But we're going to be using mynum, so we're just going to ignore that warning for right now. So now what we're going to do is we're going to assign mynum. So we'll type mynum equals 5. Now if we do console dot write line mynum, and then we'll do console dot read line. If we go ahead and run this, it's going to say 5 right there. Now what we can do is we can, instead of putting this in 2 lines, we can go ahead and set the value of our variable in the declaration line. So we can set it equal to 5 there. Now the reason I showed you the 2-line method before that is because sometimes you're going to be declaring a variable in one of your subs, and then later on in your subs you're going to be assigning that to another value. Now that would be a way you would want to do that. So for example, if I run this, let's go ahead and run this, it'll say 5. Now if I come down here and set mynum equal to something else, such as 7, if we go ahead and run this, it's going to print out 7. Because even though we initialize mynum at 5, after we do that, it's going to change the value of mynum to 7, and it's going to write the most recent value of mynum. Now it doesn't save the old values, it just updates it. So it's going to start at 5, we change it to 7, and it prints out the 7, which is what it's currently equal to. So let's go ahead and work with another type. Not QB color, I want tab, or not caps lock, tab. Okay, so let's go ahead and get rid of mynum in here, and we'll declare a string. So dim my string as string, and we're going to set it equal to hello the new Boston fans. So now if we come down here and we do console.write line, we're just going to put my string as the arguments, and you can see that it prints out hello the new Boston fans. Now if we want to do a character, we can just do dim my character as as char, and we'll set it equal to a, or him, a. And if we type out my character, you can see that it'll print out a for us. Now let's go ahead and do a double really quick. So if we do double, set it equal to 5.4. If we go ahead and run this, it'll say 5.4 for us. Now let's work with a boolean real quick. If we create a boolean variable, we'll set it equal to either true or false. So we'll set it equal to true, and we'll print out my character. Or here, let's change this to my bool. Now you can see here that it prints out true. Now we can also set this to false. And if we run this, it's going to print out false. Now here's something that I was going to teach you guys in a later tutorial, but I figured that you guys are smart, so I'll go ahead and teach it to you in this tutorial. Now whenever you create a variable, let's create an integer, and we'll set it equal to 5. What we want to do is in our console.writeLine, we want to take my num and we want to convert it to a string. Now you may not notice any differences in this, but I was taught that whenever it's good coding practice to convert numbers to strings when you're going to be printing them out anywhere on the screen, such as a label or a text box or a console, which is what we are working in. So to convert it to a string, you just do the variable that you want dot toString with empty parameters, and this is going to convert your integer to a string. So now if we run this, you can see it prints out 5, but instead of printing out a number, this is actually a string. So that's about all I wanted to cover in the variables tutorial. So practice with some variables, make some of your own, print them out, get used to what they are, and then once you've got that nailed down, move on to the next tutorial, and don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe.